Yep. Hello, welcome everybody. I'm going to do this in English. I'm actually not Dutch, that's why. But I can understand Dutch and sort of talk, but it's not efficient for presentation. We're going to talk about Chrome extensions and apps today, or apps and extensions. We're going to go a bit deeper on what actually Chrome is, and most of us know it as a browser, but it's more than just that. I'm Fanie, a few of the hats. I like ice cream. I'm a .NET developer. You see this sort of contrast here, Chrome and .NET. And I work for a company called Fix IT. We do like small consulting here and there, and also data sharing. Here are my details if you want to contact me. Before I move on, like I said, I'm a .NET MVP, not a Chrome or anything MVP, so I'm not an expert. That guy is the expert. I'm nothing like him. But I took a few hours of my time and I actually went through the stuff on Chrome to see what it's all about, because I see what Windows is doing, I see what Cordova is doing. Let's investigate what is Google is doing with Chrome. So on the agenda, we're going to look at packaged apps. Then we're going to jump into browser extensions. And then we're going to quickly go into the sort of flow on how to deploy your app to the web store, the Chrome web store. And then I'm going to quickly show you something cool called Arc Welder. I don't know if you have ever heard of Arc Welder. Hopefully not, because it's kind of awesome. I'd like to start this presentation with this one slide. Everyone knows that logo. It is Chrome, right? Google recently changed the logo, and I don't think that Chrome's logo also changed, because then my slides are a bit out of date. But most of us use Chrome as a browser. But it's not a browser. What is it if it's not a browser? It's a platform. Boom, boom, boom. When I first heard it, I was like, yay. In that platform, you get like 4 components that make up this whole platform. One of them is the applications, extensions, native client, and the store. Now, the apps, we all know what apps are. They're everywhere on the phone, tablet, desktop. Extensions are browser-based extensions. It extends a piece of software, like the Chrome browser. You can go and extend. It doesn't even have to have an interface. You can extend it by calling services to the background and stuff like that. Native client is a small little native shell that's built into Chrome that runs compiled C++ and C and C code. And it allows you to sort of have host your application in a near native performance capabilities. And also, last but not least, is the store, which acts as a distribution center for all these other stuff. Meaning you can host your themes, your apps, extensions, what have you. You can host them on the web store. It's not just a browser. So what are Chrome apps? Obviously, it runs on Chrome, but not inside the browser. It runs outside the browser. I don't know if any one of you ever on Windows went to the task manager, and if you have a lot of Chrome extensions like I do, there's like a ton of tasks. Chrome. I only have one instance. Why are there like 20 Chrome instances? That's because each app and each extension has its own process that just happens to have a Chrome logo, but it's a Chrome process that flies off separately. What's nice is also it's built with web technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can go beyond that and just use CoffeeScript and stuff like that, but it all boils down to JavaScript at the end of that. Like I mentioned, Chrome apps give you a near native experience, or it is a native experience. It's experience comparable to native, meaning the APIs that is exposed by the platform allows you have the capabilities of sending a push notification using Bluetooth and I mean by doing all that in web tech. It also is offline by default.
Does that mean that a Chrome app is not bound to the sandbox your browser is bound?
No, it's different. It runs in a different context. It's still sandbox, but it's a completely different. It has different sandbox. Chrome apps used to be called package apps. It was the old packaged extensions, i.e. apps they called it back in the day, but then they basically transitioned it to Chrome apps, and it's completely different. It shares the same characteristics, but at the end of the day, it is sort of separate stuff. It focuses on different areas. And lastly, it gives you access to the rich set of APIs, storage, like I said, Bluetooth, and etc. The Chrome apps are built on the app container model, meaning that we all have apps, we all know how the apps get installed and used. But the app container model basically works like your app lives somewhere on the cloud, and then you go to the App Store, you click it, you download it, and it gets stored on your device locally. So it's local on your device. Only the data gets transferred back and forth. And then when you click on the icon to open your app, it opens on its own sort of sandbox container. Meaning you can pick up that container and drop it in your other device, and it will work exactly the same. The app doesn't have access to the file system per se, direct explicit access. It doesn't have access to other apps. It only has access to other apps via exposed services. So if you want to talk to other app or you want to talk to the storage, you have to opt in for that permission. So you have to go in, I want storage, or I want to be able to talk to that application, or I want to listen for events or Bluetooth. And then the device knows about it, and it can escalate that when you install the app to ask the user for permission. Yes, I want to make use of my location, for instance. And that gives you app capabilities. So we all have iOS, Windows, but why Chrome apps? So for me, it gives you an instant, it's instant multi-platform. Chrome is everywhere. It's Google. It's in cars. It's on fridges. Just think about, you can have your Chrome app. It can run, no, not really fridge. I'm just saying devices. You have your Chrome app. It runs on your laptop. Why not have it run on the fridge? It runs on kiosks. That's sort of thin clients. So and also with the Chromebook, it's immediate audience expansion. Chromebooks are cheap, and it runs Chrome, the Chrome OS, and the Chrome apps can also run on there. So why not? It's a good solution for companies that don't want to fork out so much money. It is also richer than the conventional web apps, because it's not a web app. Although it's built with web technologies, it's not a web app. It needs to act, and it needs to behave like a normal app. So it needs to adhere to the security policies, etc. But it's still a native-ish app. But you mustn't think about it as a website, because it's not a website. It's an app that runs in a container like any other app. What's also cool is, I don't know if you guys are using Chrome, but if you're using Chrome, I normally sign in with my Chrome account on my browser. Just doing that on a new PC, I get all my apps migrated with me. So wherever I go, my apps follows me. And whenever I just signs out, the app disappears. So if I borrow my PC to someone else, I don't have to worry that they can access my applications. It's completely wiped off the system. And also, lastly but not least, is the idea of the seamless OS integration. So the app installs, but it installs like sort of in a context where you can go to see all your Chrome apps. But it also installs like into the thread, into the actual material of the OS. So you can go to the start menu in Windows and search for your app, and it will pop up like any normal Windows application. You can also, if you go to OS X, the Spotlight search, it will pop up there. You know, it's a completely integrated experience. There are 4 things that a typical Chrome app consists of. Manifest, it's a JSON file that's just like the JSON file of a flight, like you fly somewhere. It's a summary and a detailed description of what your app does and metadata of your app, version, what permissions are you using, all that kind of things. It's the file that the OS uses or the platform uses to identify what your app is doing and how to handle your app in certain scenarios. It also comes with a background script. Now that's the JavaScript, like a starting point on where your app starts. And I will get into that in a second. And then you have your app, like your HTML, your CSS, JavaScript, images, all these other assets that you might use, and also application-specific icons that are in certain sizes, like 16 by 16, 128 by 128, for different devices, etc. So now, taking a look at the manifest, hopefully all of us can understand JSON. So the manifest, the minimal requirements of the manifest is that section above there that says app. My app has a background, as an optional background. My app has an optional background script because the app can be empty, but typically I would say include a background script, otherwise it doesn't do anything. So the moment the app opens up, it fires off the background script and it runs whatever is in there. It also includes it must include a manifest version so that Chrome can actually make sense and parse the manifest in the right schema. Also the metadata of your app, like your version and your name, and description if you want, it's not there, but there it is, and the locale and icons. So it's pretty straightforward definition of what your app is doing and what it includes. Now the background script, like I said, it's the starting logic of your app. It's not necessarily the logic of the app, it's the starting logic. So it's your infrastructure kind of starting point. Here I have like 3 events that's it's typically used. One of which is you want to know when the app is installed. You want to do some like setup, like create a database or initialize local storage, or suspend it when your app like shuts down. You want to clean up some tasks or backup or whatever. And also when your app opens up, you want to be able to like, hi user, how are you doing? Kind of events that you want to apply up there. And then there's the rest. You have your installation, your startup, your termination, your update and installation. That's like the cycle. So it moves from left all the way to the right. Now let's really talk about the packaged app. Well, that's not really packaged app, it's the Chrome app security model. Now, first and foremost, to answer the question, is it's different contexts, and each of these 3 apps run separately, and you can see this as a Chrome on its own, not the whole Chrome, but Chrome process. If something happens with app 2, it doesn't break app 1 and app 3. Also, app 3 can't access the asset in app 1 directly, so it's completely separate. So to be able to access asset 3, you need to make use of the boundary here, like the platform's API. That gave app 1 the capability of sharing its files, and app 3 the capability of asking for app 1's files and listening for that events. You go via the platform so that it's more controlled in that way. Also included in the security model is the content security policy. Now that is a set of rules that Chrome came up to say certain JavaScript that we all might write isn't always safe, like inline scripts. We don't want that in our pages. And sometimes we do have that in our pages, and we need to have that. So it allows us now to sort of isolate that specific pages in a sandbox tag in the manifest file. So we can say sandbox and you put in special pages that include dodgy code, I would say, with the that include the JavaScript that's the pages that include the JavaScript that's not really secure. Permissions. Now, like I mentioned to you, if your app is using the storage or the video capture or Bluetooth, you need to explicitly ask for the permissions. Otherwise, you won't get the capabilities at all. Even when you call that, it won't light up. It will break. And then lastly is the sort of iframe tag. I don't know why they call it a web view. They could have just guessed it iframe. We all know iframes. The web view is it's an iframe that runs whatever you put in there. It will run as a website. So it's a complete sandbox in a sandbox kind of environment. Then that inner sandbox is actually handled as a browser. So the normal browsery stuff will happen in there. Like in this case, my website will be running in the web view. So let's quickly take a look at package tabs. So I've got Visual Studio Code open. You guys know Visual Studio Code. It's a normal text editor. It is much more lightweight than Visual Studio, but Visual Studio Code it just enables us to do like get to it and just get cracking. It's got GitHub integration. It's got nice search integration. It's actually awesome. It's built similar to the Atom editor. You can go grab it for free on visualstudio.com. So I've got a folder here. This is up on my GitHub page, GitHub/Fanie Reynders/SDN. All these samples will be there, and you can just download it and play around with it. So I've got a, let me show you the actual folder, which is in there. Open up this. Okay. So with, let me just actually go a bit deeper. It's confusing, have all those levels. Yeah. Okay. So in my folder here, I've got a normal app folder. It includes a subfolder for all my assets, and there's all my icons. There's the SDN icon 128, and there's a small SDN 16 icon. There's some styles, normal CSS styles. There is an app.js, a main, and a main.js, and a manifest file. So quickly looking at the manifest, let's start there. So yet again, this app is a Hello SDN application. And it will, what we want to do is we want to be able to have it open up and greet the guys, hello SDN, and it will have a button. Then when you click it, it will pop up a toast notification on the OS level too. So it's just to show that barrier is broken between a website and an application. So when it starts up, it will fire off main.js, which is called in the background scripts section. And it also asks for the permissions for notifications. In the main.js, I call my onLaunched listener that will call the start function. And in the start function here, I just assign a few variables, which is the screen width and height, and I set a window setting object. This is just an object that includes a like characteristics of the window, the width, height, position of it. So this is actually code. You don't have to do this, just for the show. And then here I say I want to create my window. So I call Chrome app window create, and I call main.html. I pass in my window settings. So Chrome will go ahead and create a window, a container, and it will chuck my main HTML inside there, and it will morph my window as my settings are specified. My HTML is fairly simple. I've got a pointer to my wonderful CSS that's doing all the hard work, I would say. It's got a header, it's got a button that says go on, say it, and it also includes additional script like application logic situated in my app.js. I'm not going to go further than that. I'm just going to actually deploy this and show you how it works, and then we can go deeper to see how it actually works further. Now, deploying an application is as simple as, well, deploying an application is you need to deploy it on Chrome. So you have to sort of open the Chrome browser to do it. So it's a bit confusing. So we have the Chrome browser open. So you want to do that. And then you click this little hamburger menu there, and you go to settings. And then under the extensions section, you see all your Chrome extensions. Now, we're not deploying an extension, we're deploying an app, but you know, this is where the confusion starts. It's still under the extensions part, but that will probably change in the future, because we're not really deploying an extension, we're deploying an application. So you can go ahead and click this developer mode tick box, and it will allow you to load an unpackaged extension, or pack an extension for the store, or update all the extensions. So you can go load an unpackaged extension, and you can go to that folder and you can go follow the steps. Or accidentally, I've figured out you can actually do this, drag drop, and there's my app installed, which is actually quite. Now I've installed my application. I can actually close everything here on my desktop. Now Chrome has this Chrome app launcher here at the bottom that I pinned on my taskbar. Now it allows you to do Google searches, and it allows you to browse your extensions and applications. What is cool about it is it also houses all your apps. So if you sign in with your Google account, all your apps will be at one place. So there we see our Hello SDN app is there. But I can go open up Windows and I can say Hello SDN, and it's there as well. So it's completely integrated into my OS. And I can actually go ahead and pin this to my start menu as well, and it will act like a normal application. There we go, Hello SDN. So when I click this, my application should start off, which is kind of awesome. The CSS will react responsively, like I said it to. And if I click here, hopefully it will work. Yes, there we go. Hello SDN, hello SDN. So there's those notifications coming up on Windows. This is not Windows Toast notifications, because note that Windows Toast notifications come up come on top. This is Chrome Toast notifications, so it will come at the bottom. But it's the same thing at the end of the day. So let's go a bit deeper into the code. You notice that we have a reference to app.js in our HTML, meaning there's more logic to it. So here I have a self-executing function. Just minimize. Can you guys see there? Yeah. Where we say, okay, we grab the hello button and we fire on. We listen for a click handler, and on that click we want to execute the function say hello. And here, calling Chrome notifications through hate, we just get a random ID, which is this function. Put in a random ID, and then we have a title, icon URI. We have a type, that's basic. I'm sure there's also other types you can do, like big icons and small icons and interactive ones and what have you. And a message, and a callback function when a user interacts with the toast, what it needs to do. In this case, it's just a thing that pops up. That is it. So if you don't have your permission set to use notifications, Chrome will break here because you don't have access to notifications. The guy explicitly said, I don't want notifications, so that's why it's not working. Right, back to the slide deck. So Chrome extensions, on the other hand, are similar. It's the same but similar. It's the same by using the same web technologies, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, images, but it is not it's not the same cycle. It's not the same context. It's literally two separate things. Like I said, the extensions, like I also mentioned previously, it extends the browser, whereby app is a thing on its own. But it also installs as conventional apps. So like you saw earlier with the launcher, my apps and my extensions is installed at the same place, which is quite manageable. Also, the set of APIs that it has access to is different. So the extensions have different APIs, whereby the apps have different APIs. Some of it might be sort of generic, but it's different sets of stuff. So manifest are also similar. So now we're looking at a manifest on a Chrome extension I've built because I'm English, and at this time I didn't really have much skill on speaking Dutch. So I built a Chrome extension that translates my English to Dutch. I know it's funny. I'm gonna do it now. So this is the manifest I use. Now, to give you an idea how it works, I'm using Bing Translate Engine in Azure, and what it basically does is I post a sentence to Azure with my token and from and to language, and it will convert it and it will send me that. And my extension will look for all the input and text areas on a website, and it will fire off when I click Control Space. It will do the whole thing, and it will just work. But anyways, this is the manifest JSON file. As you can see, it looks similar to the Chrome apps, but here you have permissions, which is not a specific API. Here is like permissions. I want to call external sites. In this case, I want to call the data market API up in Azure. You also have to say the content that you include in your extension, meaning all the stuff you use in your extension needs to be defined first. Unlike the package app, it's just in the folder. Here you have to say, because it gets compiled it gets combined into a CX or something file. CX got the file that includes all the stuff. So long and short is, if you don't include all the necessary stuff in there, it won't be in your package going forward. So this is my NL Translate extension, and my code word says inline translate, and I say, hey, it's actually NL Netherlands. Hey, wow, that's cool. So the extension will fire off when I hit Control Space on any input or text area. Facebook also works accidentally. So it will go and go to the Bing Translate API that will convert English to Dutch, and it will send back to it to the extension, which will put it back on the applicable text box. That is it. How are you? Yeah. Well, who is it with you? Practicing my Dutch here. So let's quickly go and see how that is done. Okay, back again in Visual Studio Code. Let's see if I can open up a different level here. Okay, so yet again, we have a folder, extension folder. It's called extension, and I've got my assets. That's on my icons, similar to apps. There's my JSON file. We saw that now. Now this is not this is not the NL Translate. This is the very simple one, just to show you how the extension can also work. I'll get to the inline one in a minute. So this is the extension that just gives you an additional icon on your Chrome browser, and when you click on it, it will give you a pop-up say, hello, how are you? There's my icons, and I'm doing a browser action that has an icon. I'm using the 16 size icon, and I'm calling the pop-up HTML as my default pop-up source. There's my CSS, nothing really interesting there, and my HTML, barely, it's simple HTML, and also using the CSS. Now let's do this. Let's open up the extensions again, and let's open up install it again. And did you guys see what happened there? Yeah. There's one extension installed in Chrome. Small icon there. So if I click on it, it will say, hello SDN, how are you? So it's just to showcase what the difference is between Chrome apps and extensions. And that's how easy it is to create extensions. Let's quickly...
I missed the notification button.
Say again?
There was a button to get the notification.
No, this is a separate.
Okay.
I copied.
It was another. It was
yes,
a copy. Okay.
But yeah, I've used the exact same HTML and just
but
took some stuff out. Yes, exactly. But same style, same everything. But you can do that. You can leave the button there, but you have to use the applicable notification API of the extensions, and it will work.
Okay. Just wondering.
No. I know WhatsApp. If you go to the web-based WhatsApp, webwhatsapp.com, it has the capability of using those notifications in Chrome. It uses the exact same thing. It just happens to be in a website now. There's also the overlay of the websites and extensions. We can use that APIs. Okay. What is next on the agenda? Yeah. So let me see. So my NL translate extension. Let's go to that code and see how that works. I'll do that? No. So forgive me, my code is not so clean, but it does the thing. So my manifest, you all saw the manifest, how that was. I'm using jQuery. So beginning at line number 1, just joking. Just going to go through here. So there's the background. So the background script does a few things. One of which is I look for the key codes. Let's actually go through this and see step by step. If it's painful, just tell me to stop. So when the thing starts off, I grab my. That's not needed. So when the thing starts off. I have a key down handler on all the text areas and all the input boxes with text type, and also all the dot input classes. Now this is to make WhatsApp work. I saw WhatsApp is actually divs with input class in a div, sort of real input. So this is my way of getting around that thing. And whenever that happens, it calls the process starting point, which means it will check each and every keystroke for a control key and a space. It's quite obvious that 32 space. I don't know that. So yeah, key code 32. So these two combined is a event that will fire off, and it will call the translate function, which will pass in my target, my element. In this case, it's either a text box or a text area or a div that includes HTML. So that's what I handled here. If you go down to the translate function, I grab my from text using the get value function, and all the get value function does, it uses the target to figure out. Now this is way better, but it figures out if it's a text area or an input, and it uses the value of that. And if it's a div, it will just use the inner HTML as the value and pass it back. Like this, it's compatible with like WhatsApp, or because I'm not using real input fields. So you have your getters and setters I've sort of made, and then I do a little highlight thing. So I grab a text. If you don't highlight a part of the word and say control space, which you can do as well, but if you don't highlight anything, it will take the whole sentence. So it will figure out, did I highlight anything? If so, use the highlighted text. Otherwise, just use the highlighted text. Pretty straightforward. Then I have my Azure URI that I pass my parameters to. Very straightforward. And also the key, my token, I use down here when I do my AJAX request. I do a get, my URL. I pass in JSON, and before I want to send my authorization header as basic, and I pass my token in there. All this is on GitHub, so you can guys go check it out. You just have to provide your own key. I've hidden my key away in a separate file that's not included in GitHub. So this is my key. I know this is already reset it. I already set it after this, but this is the idea, and it's not live yet, so you can still blur that out. In any case, so yeah, it uses this key. This key you can get from the management console in Azure. Where is it now? All these windows that open. There we go. So in Azure, manage.windowsazure.com. You get to the management portal, go down to Marketplace. That's down here. I like the zoom. Cool. And then you can create a Bing translator sort of extension or a component. I've done that. I followed the steps. It's pretty straightforward, and look, it gives you all the code, and I literally went copy paste to use this. That part I copied. The OData part didn't work, so that's why I didn't use that. It probably will work now. But yeah, if you're using C# or Java, they try to help you to get going. But in here, all the keys and everything is there, and to get you up and running. So in any case, so I have my thing going, and before it sends my authentication, and as you will do its translation dance and send me the wrong Dutch back, like it always does. And on success, I get the actual results out of the OData response, and I just use my setter to sort of specially set my function, my element, whether it's a div or input, the applicable value. And if there's an error, just break at the breakpoint. That's where the bugger is there. So let's deploy this guy and see how this works. Same way I'm going to do dragging and dropping. I'm sure you can also deploy this using something like PowerShell. I don't know. Okay. Cool. So there. I can now translate. There it is there. And now when I go to any website, let's go to Stack Overflow. I don't want to take a 10-minute tour. I want to actually ask a question. Really? Okay. Let's not go to Stack Overflow. Let's go to Facebook. Really? They need to sign in again. Okay. Down here, let's pick someone. This guy. Okay. Now, you guys can see there. So this is Facebook. I hope this works. This is Facebook. I'm going to go in English, and this this was inspired by me talking to KPN. So always on the phone with the chat. So it's like highlight, translate. No, that's not right. And then I was like, hey, I'm going to write something that can work. So imagine this is the KPN guy, and you have problems with your internet. Now, if I can control space, it will translate it in line. And I can literally go, internet will send that now to him, and he will get a random message saying, do you intend my...
Who understand?
Say again?
Who understand?
Because it's from South Africa.
Oh yeah, that's my. I'm from South Africa, so it's one of my friends. So yeah, it's that's also why I can understand Dutch very well, and so on. But in any case, this works everywhere, even WhatsApp. But let's go to a different site. I actually want to show you Stack Overflow because it can come in quite handy when, especially for me, doing stuff. So let's do this. This zoom in a bit. Okay. This question is totally in Dutch. Smiley face. It also works with emoticons. That's awesome. Deze vraag is volledig geschreven in het Nederlands. Klopt dat?
Ja, dat is veel goed.
See, if it was Google doing this translation, I need to say these things. Any case, so okay, what is next? So let's quickly talk. The last thing is hopefully you guys are still awake. It's almost be our clock, promise. So the last thing is Arc Welder. Arc Welder stands for Android Runtime in Chrome. Okay, this is what it is. It allows us to take an Android application that runs on our tablet or our phone and run it inside Chrome. Meaning you can have your WhatsApp or your Facebook or Instagram or what you have, the APKs you have compiled. You can run it in Chrome from the same launcher, from the same Windows Start button, and you can fire up that and you can run that application inside Chrome, and it works. It's a runtime. It's an Android runtime that runs even games. Yes, it's still on the beta, so not all of it works. I know Facebook used to work, but then they changed something and then it doesn't work again. I think it has to do with the different runtime and the APIs that expose and what have you. But I'm going to show you quickly how easy it is. You can go to apkmirror.com to get all the apkmirror.com to get all the APKs that's from the Android store. Download it, it's signed, and you can use it. So let's see. So I've already did I download it? Let's see. I don't have Arc Welder here. So from the launcher, I can actually go Arc Welder. I can grab it from the store. I didn't pick it up last time. No, I didn't pick it up. I can grab it from the store, but it's actually quite cool. I can search from here. So Arc Welder, and we'll open up the Chrome search. It's much better. If you just Google Arc Welder, you'll get to the steps. I'm not going to bore you with the steps. It's actually very also out of date, I think. But let's get the Arc Welder app, which is the underlying runtime. It installs as an application, as a Chrome application. It's quite cool. Add to Chrome. Yes, I want to add it. It will download the whole world now because it's like, I think it's like 70 or so megs. And then it should have done this before. Let's see. Okay, while that thing is loading, there's an application called the Chrome Dev Editor. It's like Visual Studio for Chrome apps, what you can use to create to quickly create Chrome applications. I'm just going to quickly show you that while the other thing is doing its thing. Is that what? Downloading.
So in your code, you have a line expecting an error, and when an error occurs, you call debugger.
Yes.
Is this the debugger you're going to talk about? Or?
No. This is Arc Welder.
No. Yeah, this is Arc Welder.
Oh, the Chrome Dev Editor.
Yeah.
No, the Chrome Dev Editor is actually an application they've built to build Chrome apps. So it's an application. Yeah, it's a. I just want to stop this. No, I can't stop it now. It's an application they've created. It's an IDE kind of thing to create Chrome applications, and literally by pointing and shooting, and there's an app. It's funny because it started off as a bare bones text element, and it ended up being a thing that built itself. So they've loaded its own code in itself and compile itself, and then it goes again until it gets this one. You see, this thing is not doing what it's supposed to do. 1 second. Yes, okay. This arc welder. Okay, let's quickly shift our minds back back again to arc welder. I'll show you that in a minute. Are we looking at time? You're still fine, eh?
15 minutes.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that 50 minutes. So this is arc welder, and it just asks me now to where do I want to put my stuff, my arc welder stuff. So I made a folder called arc on my C drive, and then it says, okay, cool, test your app, add your APK. I've already downloaded many APKs. I know for a fact that Twitter works. So it's a normal APK file. Oops. A normal APK file from APK Mirror. I went there and downloaded it. And then it takes a second to boot up, and I go here, test, and it will go ahead and create a Chrome app shell, and it will run the Twitter app inside there. The same Twitter app is the same one that's on Android. There we go. Log in. Okay. Oops. So there's the Twitter app. So pull refresh and go. I think it's quite cool. Windows is also doing the same thing for its own platform, getting iOS and Android over. I like the integration with everything. Okay, shifting our minds back again to the Chrome Dev Editor. This wasn't planned. This was actually the accident. Showing start. You click the new project button. You first have to choose your folder where to put your stuff, which is created on C drive. Oops. And then next folder, Dev Editor. Okay, what's the project name? Let's call it Hello SDN2. And then you can say, I want a blank project. There's a whole lot of templates you can choose. Let's go for the polymer one, the material design one, and it goes ahead and creates an application for you. And you can go run, and it will sort of run it in its own little shell. Hopefully this will work. And I don't think this fires off. But in any case, it's quite cool. It's worth investigating and worth playing around. It's still in beta. Yeah, it's awesome. Are there any further questions?
In your example, you had to store the key
Yes.
in the JavaScript code. Isn't that then readable for everybody?
Yeah, it is readable. The application, I'll actually show you. The application has a folder where it puts all the compiled applications, which is on your computer. So you can go in and you can go and take it out if you really want to. That's why it's important to obfuscate your application. But it stores the key in there. I'm not really sure on the other way of doing it. I'm not an
Can you have
expert.
settings? Can you?
I'm sure there's a settings API you can make use of that it works like .NET, that works on a profile level and like a local storage level or something like that. But yeah, that's also a problem I had. It's like, hey, okay, how do I deploy this to GitHub? But I had a workaround using an ignore file and just ignore my secret file and push the rest up. As long as I have my secret in my same folder, it will pick up fine. So that's how that works.
So your first application was in a separate window. I've noticed that Postman, the new version, is in a new window as well.
Yes,
But it used to be in the browser itself.
yes.
So
This is a package app.
Yeah.
An example of a package app.
so how would you create your application in the browser itself?
Meaning within Chrome, like here, like there.
Yeah.
Okay, you can do that with an extension. You would rather than do the extension part of things. Meaning when you start up the application, it won't have a script that runs in the background or anything. You will have the background script target the current tab and modify the current tab's content to your HTML's content. bear in mind that the address bar will have like gibberish written inside there, because it's going to be a website at the end of the day, loading the content in the website. I've seen cool stuff, people modifying text and rotating some websites, logos, just by having this extension on. You can do cool stuff with extensions. Anything else? No?
Well, I see a resemblance between Android Studio source code
Yes.
and this code. I believe it's all both coming from Google, so it's nearly the same.
Yes.
Line.
No, you're right.
Is it true? Okay. So therefore, it would be easy to make it for both platforms.
Yes, exactly. My opinion, I would say that everything is going towards web anyway. It's you know, you have this whole native versus web fight. It's not supposed to be a fight. It's supposed to be a choice that works. Go what you use native for. No, it's choose the right solution for the right job. At the end of the day, I would say we all write in HTML. It will compile natively at some point in time. But we're out of time, unfortunately. I have I also run a fix-up user group. If you guys are want to join, it's in Houghton currently, but we're looking for other locations. Once a month, if you go to fix-up with 2 X's, .nl, you will get the website, more information. There's my currently up my GitHub page, and yeah, this is me, and thank you for your attention. Thanks.